All right, knuckleheads and true believers, welcome to our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comic book titles from the last 10 years. We're talking about the real heavy hitters, the books that flew off the shelves like hotcakes at a Comic-Con. We'll be diving into the most popular issues from Marvel, DC, Boom, and Image Comics. We're talking about the big guns, the titans, the books that made your friendly neighborhood retailer say, "Holy crap, I need to order more of these." Remember, we're only looking at single issues, not trade paperbacks. So, no cheating. This is about the raw power of a single issue hitting the stands and blowing everyone away. So grab your longboards, fire up some music, and let's get this party started. Kicking off our list at number 10 is none other than the Batman, baby. Specifically, Batman number 1 from 2011, the issue that launched the New 52 era. DC hit the reset button on their entire universe, giving us fresh takes on classic characters. This issue, written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo, was like a shot of adrenaline to the Bat family's heart. It had everything you could want in a Batman comic: a gritty Gotham City, a mysterious new villain called the Court of Owls, and a Batman who was pushed to his limits. The New 52 was a gamble for DC, but it paid off big time, especially with Batman number 1. This issue was a smash hit, selling over 165,000 copies. It proved that even after all these years, the appetite for Batman stories was still strong. Batman is timeless. He's a symbol of hope, of justice, of what one man can do to fight back against the darkness. So there you have it, folks. Batman number 1, a worthy contender for the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Swinging in at number 9 is none other than your friendly neighborhood Amazing Spider-Man. We're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man number 1 from 2014. This relaunch came after the controversial Superior Spider-Man storyline. It marked the return of Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Fans were ecstatic. Written by Dan Slott and drawn by Humberto Ramos, it brought Spidey back to his roots. Fun, action-packed, and a reminder of why we love the web slinger. A critical and commercial success, selling over 180,000 copies. With great power comes great responsibility. Amazing Spider-Man number 1, a triumphant return for everyone's favorite webhead. Coming in at number 8, we're blasting off to a galaxy far, far away with Star Wars number 1 from 2015. That's right, the Force was strong with this one. This marked the triumphant return of Star Wars comics to Marvel after a long time over at Dark Horse. This issue, written by Jason Aaron with art by John Cassaday, picked up right after the events of A New Hope. We got to see Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, and the droids go on new adventures, battling Imperials and trying to keep the rebellion alive. This issue was a monster hit, selling over 1 million copies. It just goes to show the enduring power of the Star Wars franchise, so strap in, adjust your deflector shields, and prepare to make the jump to hyperspace as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Prepare yourselves, folks, because at number 7, things are about to get seriously brutal. We're entering the world of The Walking Dead with issue number 100, a milestone issue that left readers speechless. This issue, written by Robert Kirkman with art by Charlie Adlard, took things to a whole new level of intense. This issue marked a turning point in the series. This issue introduced Negan, a ruthless and charismatic villain who would go on to become one of the most iconic antagonists in comic book history. Without spoiling too much, let's just say this issue involved a barbed wire-wrapped baseball bat named Lucille, and a whole lot of heartbreak. The Walking Dead number 100 was a massive hit, selling over 383,000 copies. It proved that even in the world of capes and tights, there's room for stories about survival, loss, and the will to keep going even when all hope seems lost. So grab your trusty katana, double-check your shotgun shells, and brace yourselves, because we're diving deeper into the world of best-selling comics. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're entering the massive, mind-bending world of Marvel's Secret Wars. Secret Wars number 1 from 2015 shook the Marvel Universe to its core. The grand finale of Jonathan Hickman's epic run on Avengers and New Avengers, written by Hickman with art by Esad Ribic, multiple realities collided. Alternate versions of heroes, villains, and epic battles. Secret Wars number 1 sold over 440,000 copies. Cosmic stakes, shocking twists, and a brand new Marvel Universe. Get ready to explore the multiverse as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Hold on to your cows, Bat fans, because at number 5, we're celebrating a legendary milestone. That's right, we're talking about Detective Comics number 1000, a celebration of the Dark Knight's 80th anniversary. This issue was a massive anthology featuring stories from some of the biggest names in comics. Detective Comics number 1000 was a smash hit, selling over 580,000 copies. It was a testament to the enduring legacy of Batman and the impact he's had on popular culture. This issue had everything a Batman fan could ask for: classic villains, intense action, heartwarming moments, and even a few surprises thrown in for good measure. So raise a glass, or a batarang, to the Caped Crusader as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Hold on to your capes, true believers, because at number 4, we're diving headfirst into controversy. That's right, we're talking about Civil War II number 1, the sequel to the groundbreaking 2006 event that divided the Marvel Universe. This issue, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by David Marquez, threw the Marvel Universe into turmoil once again. A new Inhuman with the ability to see the future emerged, and his powers sparked a debate about whether heroes should use knowledge of future crimes to prevent them, even if it meant potentially violating someone's free will. Civil War II number 1 was a lightning rod for debate, sparking heated discussions among comic book fans and beyond. This issue was a commercial success, selling over 590,000 copies. So buckle up and prepare for a thought-provoking journey into the heart of the Marvel Universe as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Get ready to enter a world of mystery and intrigue, folks, because at number 3, we're stepping into the realm of Watchmen with Doomsday Clock number 1. That's right, the groundbreaking genre-defining graphic novel by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons finally collided with the DC Universe, and it was every bit as epic as we hoped. This issue, written by Jeff Johns with art by Gary Frank, sent shockwaves through the comic book world. It picked up years after the events of Watchmen, with the world on the brink of nuclear war. And in the midst of it all, a familiar face returned: Rorschach. But this wasn't the Rorschach we knew. This was a new Rorschach, carrying on the legacy of the fallen hero. Doomsday Clock number 1 was a masterpiece of suspense and intrigue. This issue was a critical and commercial smash, selling over 615,000 copies. So, prepare to enter a world where nothing is as it seems, and the lines between hero and villain are blurred as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. Get ready for a bold new era for mutant kind, folks, because at number 2, we're entering the revolutionary world of House of X number 1. That's right, writer Jonathan Hickman, the mastermind behind Secret Wars, set his sights on the X-Men, and the result was nothing short of groundbreaking. This issue was a game-changer for the X-Men, reshaping their place in the Marvel Universe and redefining what it means to be a mutant. House of X number 1 introduced a bold new status quo for the X-Men, one where they embraced their power and asserted their right to exist on their own terms. It was a story about evolution, revolution, and the unyielding hope for a better future. This issue was a critical and commercial triumph, selling over 630,000 copies. So, prepare to enter a world where mutants are no longer feared and hated, but celebrated and embraced as we continue our countdown of the top 10 best-selling comics of the last decade. And here we are, folks, the top spot, the number 1 best-selling comic book of the last decade, and the winner is Saga Number 1. That's right, this epic space opera, created by writer Brian K. Vaughan and artist Fiona Staples, captured the hearts and imaginations of readers everywhere. This issue introduced us to a world of star-crossed lovers, intergalactic war, and of course a baby born with horns. It was a story about family, love, and survival, set against the backdrop of a vast and fantastical universe. Saga Number 1 was unlike anything else on the stands. It was funny, heartbreaking, action-packed, and thought-provoking, all wrapped up in one beautifully illustrated package. This issue was a critical darling and a commercial smash, selling over 730,000 copies. So there you have it, folks, the top 10 best-selling comic books of the last decade. These comics represent the very best of what the medium has to offer. Thrilling adventures, compelling characters, and stories that stay with you long after you've turned the final page. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the best-selling comic book titles of the last decade. We've seen heroes rise, villains fall, and universes collide. We've explored the depths of space, the horrors of the zombie apocalypse, and the complexities of the human heart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome comic book content. We've got plenty more comic book goodness where this came from. And be sure to let us know in the comments which of these titles is your favorite or if we missed any of your top picks. Until next time, keep on reading, true believers.